I want to break down something that's near and dear to me, which is lifestyle design. For those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Stephen Story. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I lived in Tuscaloosa until I was 26 years old. From there, I moved all around the United States for work, and I ultimately landed in Canada in 2018. From Canada, I moved to Brazil in 2019, and I've been living in Brazil for the most part ever since. And I want to break down how I got there. And it was because I began to write down the lifestyle that I wanted. My first belief in regards to lifestyle is if I write something down, it's 99% of the way to becoming real. I try to write down as many of my goals as possible, and I try to write down as many plans for my goals as possible. I started this way, way back in like 2009, 2010, 2011. And what that did for me was I was able to start documenting my thoughts around my goals and my dreams. Then I started taking action, picking a career that would get me where I wanted to go, but I did not care to have a fulfilling career. I just needed a career that could fund my lifestyle. I think that so many people have fallen into the trap of needing to love their career, needing to find fulfillment in their career, that it stops them from looking for happiness and fulfillment in their day-to-day life, their lifestyle. And I want to emphasize lifestyle because style is a verb. So we're actively styling our life. Most people I find, especially men, we fall into the habit or to the thought habit of thinking that I graduate high school, I got to graduate college, I got to get married, I got to get another job, I got to get my first promotion, my second promotion, I got to get kids. Yes, that is a style of life, but it's not a conscious style of life. That is a life that we have lived because it's a pattern that other people have done. Yes, I moved out of the United States. You don't have to live out of the United States. It was something I did because I wanted to. I didn't do it because I was a passport bro looking for women or anything like that. I did it because I wanted to have an adventure. I wanted to learn another language. I wanted to exploit geo arbitrage, right, in regards to money and lifestyle. I learned that from it's a book called 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and it's another book called The 80-20 Principle by Richard Koch, Richard Koch, Koch. And those two books helped me understand a couple things. Richard Koch helped me understand that 80% of my happiness comes from 20% of my activities. And I had to do an inventory of what truly made me happy. Things that made me happy were physical activity, learning new things, the ocean. Well, if I live near the ocean, I'll be happier. If I live in a community or an environment or a neighborhood where I can be more physically active, I'm going to be happier. If I can be in a place that has great weather, usually I'm going to be happier. I maximize the 20% that gives me 80% of my happiness. I figured out a way, due to my lifestyle, I figured out a way to be happy most of the time by controlling my environment. The next thing, I learned how to separate location from how I earn income by using social media. I created info product business, and I started earning income outside of my job. I also doing remote work as well in the insurance industry. And that also removed location from how I earn money. So I had two streams of income that were allowing me to earn money outside of location. I achieved location independence. Couple that with geo arbitrage, now you get to live an amazing life, right? Having a personal driver, having big homes here on the cliff of an ocean, sauna every day, the best gyms, eating the best food, fresh organic fruit, all those things. But it came from small decisions 15 years ago on how I wanted to live my life. If you're a guy like me from a small town, I'm here to tell you, you can have the life you want, but you got to start today. Start writing down what it is you want. Start writing down what you plan to do to get what you want, and start actively looking at how you can have a life that you're happy with. Do I have a supercar? No, I do not. Have I ever had one? No, I have not. Do I have any luxury watches? No, I don't have any. I have a Casio watch I use when I swim sometimes. That is not how I have defined my own freedom. That's not how I have defined success for myself. The ability to be able to jump in the ocean when I want to. I can be in the ocean from my bed in less than 10 minutes. That's my definition of success, of happiness, of having an enjoyable life. That's what keeps me happy, even when I have stresses from work. Because don't get it twisted, guys. You're still going to deal with stress. You're still going to deal with the pains of life. Lifestyle doesn't negate that. You're still going to deal with life. But you can create a lifestyle for yourself if you start to put your own thoughts into it. If you start to be conscious about it. People can be conscious about what they eat. They can be conscious about what they consume. But so many people have a blind spot for how they live their day-to-day life. You can change that. And I hope through the content I put out today and the content I put out in the future shows you that. Lifestyle creation is one of the biggest keys to happiness, I think, for young men. If you can create a better life for yourself, you're going to feel amazing every single day. Even when you feel like crap, you have a way to snap out of it quickly because of lifestyle. Because lifestyle to me is not going on a trip every quarter. Lifestyle to me is not being able to buy some expensive thing at the mall every day. That's not lifestyle. It's just purchasing. I think I'm kind of rambling a bit. I'm going to end the video there, but I think y'all got something from it.